Hi, my name is Stephen McGee and I'm the author of Health Forensics. And we're here to take a look at my garden, and we're going to start over here. And this is one of the subjects of health forensics, and that is electromagnetic radiation. So what we're looking at is an electromagnetic radiation emitter, more commonly known as an electrical fuse board and electrical meter. And the thing that you'll notice about this area is that is where the base of the plant is. So everything we're looking at originates in this location. So this was a vine I planted to cover up this wall. You see that the wall's not actually covered, but the same vine, when it comes close to our emitter of electromagnetic radiation, aka the fuse board, is causing the vine to thrive, and that thriving of the vine is only occurring in the area of the fuse board. So it's quite clear that the vine is being stimulated by the radiation coming out of this board. And there's a few things going on here. So the fuse board is labelled up correctly, so it's emitting radio frequency. It has a voltage emission from it as well, has a stray voltage problem of about 1.5 volts. And there's a lot of radiation in this area coming from neighbouring utility radio frequency meters as well. So it's a very interesting dynamic that this vine has to deal with. But the thing that's shocked me with this vine is how vigorous the growth was. And that vigorous growth was only being exhibited in the area of the fuse board. And all the wires from this fuse board run up the wall and into the roof. So it seems to follow where the vines are thriving. Now, these bushes are doing very, very well, and have been doing very, very well since I complained about a radio frequency tower and had it removed. And I no longer see growth problems in my garden. So let's take a little look over here. So we're going to go into the second half of the garden on the front. And we got something very interesting going on over in this half of the garden, and that's that tree. So that tree used to be like the neighbour's tree, so it used to be twice the height, and over the years I'd actually established that people were having poor quality sleep in this room. I actually experienced it myself when I was researching the home for the book. And the other thing I noticed going on was this vine right here would never grow more than about 2 foot tall from the ground. So I realized that the tree actually had a pretty extensive electromagnetic emission from it, so I cut it down to reduce that emission. And much to my surprise, this is what the vine now looks like. So this is all the same vine. All this growth has occurred in the space of probably just over a year. It goes all the way up to the roof now. Now what's on the roof is from a different vine, but everything on this wall is all originating, all that originates from this vine that previously would only grow about 2 foot tall. I've never actually ever seen it grow like this. This is new. And as I say, it coincided with cutting down the tree, which I knew had an electromagnetic field emission from it. So this tree, when it's up at like 30 feet, it's up in the cell phone tower transmissions and the television transmissions, and it's energized. And the ground is also energized from stray voltage, and it was giving off a pretty toxic emission in this area. And it coincided with this vine coming back to life when I cut it down. So that was a very interesting finding. If you look over here, these bushes that are thriving, they've been pruned quite severely this year because they were thriving so well. The same bushes were in over here, and they all died. And I believe it was from the emissions from that tree. So that was a very interesting dynamic that was occurring in this location. Now everything else in the garden now appears to be thriving. And I did have a couple of plant deaths, 2 or 3 plant deaths in this location, but it was from pruning the bushes too severely. They didn't survive the pruning that I gave them about a year ago. And you can see that we've got a lot of thriving plants back here. So that's my front garden. My front garden is now growing very, very well. And I attribute the growth primarily to cutting down this tree. You can see where we made the cuts. I put a little test point in for measuring the voltage of the tree, and it has several hundred millivolts AC on it that's coming up from the ground from the utility electrical system. So that's my front garden for you. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I wish you the very best of health. Thank you.